I'm Luke, this is 60 Minutes. I'm here with Margaret, Mary Sue, and Betty from Pleasantville. My first question, ladies, is what was life like before the Great Color Change?
Well, Luke, for me, my days consisted of just making sure the house was clean and that there was a warm meal on the table every night for dinner for Mr. Parker. He would go off to work, and I would do the same thing every day. I would dust the family room and clean the kitchen and then cook in the kitchen. And it was just the same old every day, and eventually I just got really bored.
I agree. Everything used to be so boring.
Now, what was it like for you?
Well, for me, when I would go to school, when I would go to the library to read, I would open a book and all the pages would be completely blank. And all my classes were really dumbed down, and no one was smarter than anyone else, and everyone was pretty much the same.
Mary Sue, I remember when you came home that one day complaining about the maps class you had, where you asked about what's the end of Main Street, and everyone laughed at you saying, of course, it's the beginning of East Street.
That sounds quite unpleasant. Now, what about you?
Well, whenever I went on dates, we would just go and get the same food, hamburger, talk about the same thing.
That's all they served?
Yes, that's all they served.
Awful.
We would talk about the same thing every day, and I was just looking for a little change, some more excitement.
I understand you.
I agree.
I agree.
Pleasantville just was not very pleasant for me.
So you ladies are all on the same page here, right?
Very much so.
Yes.
Life was, shall we say, rather unpleasant. My second question, ladies, is what was life like after the Great Color Change?
Well, Luke, to start, I realized that my life wasn't one big continuous cycle anymore. I could do whatever I wanted. And I finally realized that makeup was being used to mask our beauty and our differences, so I decided to stop wearing makeup around the house, and even when I went out in public. I also realized I didn't need to be cooking in the kitchen continuously throughout the day and make sure that Mr. Parker had a hot meal waiting for him when he got home from work.
What was the reaction from other women in the town
Of
this change?
At first they were rather flabbergasted, but I think after a while, once they realized that life was so much better than what we were living, I think they really adapted to the change well.
From what I've seen, some people wanted to stay with the before color, and people wanted to keep that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that people weren't ready for the change because they're used to people not showing their emotions, and since they did start showing them, they had more things to talk about, and they weren't ready for that that's a big transformation from what it was before.
So there was a segregated, almost as if this was a parody of some other past that have happened in history. So there's a segregation between the colors and the non-colors.
Yes.
Which is, it's a big, it's an eye-opener when you're looking at, so that's how a town would be run, and it's frightening that people thought that was normal.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
My last question for you ladies is, why was Pleasantville trying to make such a perfect world, and why are they masking any sort of change?
Well, everyone in Pleasantville wanted a stable community, and no one really wanted to change.
Yes, and the people in the town, Luke, really couldn't see that change was necessary except for my son Bud, who kind of brought the change to the town. So we're very fortunate that Bud saw the change and wasn't blinded to the conformity that was surrounding Pleasantville.
That's exactly right. I mean, look at the town now. You have color, you have artists displaying beautiful works of art. Just look at the burger joint, for example. I have seen some incredible drawings on those windows. What do you guys think?
It's very interesting, yes. It's very beautiful. Nothing you
Well,
would
it
have
is of
seen
me,
before
so
the
naturally I
change.
think it's gorgeous.
Good. Well, ladies, it's been a pleasure working with you guys, and thank you very much for your time. I hope you continue to thrive in the new Pleasantville.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Luke.